if it feels like everyone your age is miles ahead, career, money, life, you do not need another decade to catch up. You need 12 months of doing the right things. In this video, I will show you exactly what those are. You are not destined to drift. You are the master of your own earthly destiny, and especially your financial status. We are going to implement a precise 12-month program based on the philosophy accumulated from over 500 of the wealthiest men in history. This program is not merely about working harder. It is about thinking differently, deciding faster, and moving with organized precision. The time for wishing is over. The time for definite action starting right now has begun. I am speaking directly to the man or woman who is tired of feeling behind schedule, who looks back at the last 5 or 10 years and sees stagnation instead of progress. That feeling of inadequacy, that nagging worry that it is too late, that is not a weakness. It is, in fact, the most potent weapon you possess. That emotional pain is the raw, unrefined energy of desire, waiting to be converted into action and wealth. This realization is the first evidence that your mind is ready to transition from poverty consciousness to wealth consciousness. The agony of regret, when properly harnessed, provides far more motivation than the complacency of early success. The emotional intensity born from feeling regret is the very ignition key to your ambition, giving you an urgency that those who started early often lack. This fierce resolve, purchased through the tuition of failure, is the single greatest psychological leverage available to the late starter. The 12-month obsession, forging your definite chief aim. Being behind means you have the emotional leverage necessary to create the only starting point of all achievement, a burning desire. You have suffered the consequences of indecision, and that pain is a fuel no successful man ever wastes. We are not wishing for success. We are commanding it, backed by the certainty of faith. The spiritual law is clear. Intense emotion, whether born of fear or faith, must be transmuted into its physical equivalent. The subconscious mind will receive and act only upon the emotionalized thought, the thought that is truly felt. This process of emotional transmutation is the first form of mental alchemy you must master. Every great movement, every vast fortune, began as an intangible emotional impulse seeking physical manifestation. I have studied the causes of both great failure and great fortune. I tell you this without apology. Riches respond only to definite plans backed by definite desires. If you feel behind, your lack of a great bank balance is not the problem. The fundamental problem is the lack of a definite chief aim, or DCA. The unguided mind is subject to the negative influences of its environment. Your purpose must be so intense it becomes an obsession. This is the first of the 13 steps toward riches. And the first step in this 12-month program is giving your subconscious mind a clear command. The subconscious mind is a servant. It requires definite, specific orders, not vague hopes. The mind cannot act with assurance until it knows precisely the nature of the result it must achieve. Failure to establish the DCA is the equivalent of sending a train out without an engine or a timetable. The human mind, operating without a master purpose, dissipates its energy across 100 trivial pursuits. The DCA serves as the necessary organizing principle that channels the massive chaotic energy of the subconscious mind. Your vague longing for a better life is useless. Vague desire brings vague results. We must transmute this vague longing into a white-hot definite purpose, fixed by a specific deadline. The man who is successful knows exactly what he wants, and he is determined to get it. This process of transmutation harnesses the universal law of momentum, focusing all scattered mental energy into a single stream. The intensity of your focus will create a mental vacuum that the universe must fill with the material objects corresponding to your desire. This intense, definite focus is the spiritual basis of the fortune you are setting out to acquire. The very air around you will seem to cooperate with the energy generated by your fixed purpose. All of nature conspires to assist the individual who moves with a definite, unwavering purpose. Consider the classic story of Edwin C. Barnes. When he decided he wanted to be business partners with Thomas Edison, he possessed no qualifications. He was poor. He traveled to Orange, New Jersey, with no money or education, driven solely by a burning desire to achieve his aim. He offered his service in any capacity just to be in the same environment. He did not ask for a job. He presented himself as a partner. He accepted a menial position, but he maintained this obsessive thought, reading his aim aloud for 5 years until the opportunity arose. His mind was so fixed on the definite chief aim that his subconscious mind eventually forced the realization of his purpose. Barnes's unwavering mental attitude attracted the circumstances and ideas necessary to fulfill his ambition, proving that desire is the foundation of all achievement. The sustained desire functioned as an antennae, tuning his mind to the frequency of opportunity within Edison's organization. His mind functioned like a highly tuned radio receiver, capable of perceiving the exact signal necessary for his success. Barnes's 5 years of persistence were fueled by a definitive plan, demonstrating that focused time, not just passage of time, determines success. His ability to clearly define his destination partnership with Edison was more valuable than a university education or inherited wealth. The lesson for you is clear. Barnes did not need a decade to catch up. He only needed a definite plan and the persistence generated by his obsession. This 12-month plan begins now with the formation of your DCA. The intensity of your desire must become the absolute master of your habits and your environment for the next 12 months. The commitment to a definite aim, regardless of current financial means, is the critical difference between the dreamer and the doer. Definite purpose, when backed by desire, transforms hope and wishing into certain, unwavering belief. You must burn all bridges behind you, eliminating the possibility of retreat into your old, aimless life. The absence of a retreat plan makes success mandatory and provides the necessary pressure for explosive 12-month growth. Action steps. The 6 essential commands. The first step toward riches. Fix the exact result and reciprocal service. Determine precisely what material gain you need to catch up. Write a clear, concise statement specifying the exact amount of money you intend to acquire. Do not say a lot of money. Say $50,000. Simultaneously, determine exactly what service, skill, or commodity you intend to give in return. The universe rewards definite service. Define what value you will deliver. The exchange of definite value for money is the law of compensation in action. Your statement must reflect this balance. This step connects the non-material energy of desire with the practical reality of commercial exchange. Your exact specification of value ensures that the universal law of attraction operates according to the principles of fairness and merit. The definite aim, stated in terms of both money and service, provides the moral and ethical foundation upon which your fortune must be built. Establish the 12-month deadline. Commit to a definite date 12 months from today when you intend to possess the outcome. This deadline creates the urgency necessary to conquer procrastination and aimlessness. A goal without a time limit is merely a wish. This fixed point forces your mind to organize the resources required for completion. The lack of a fixed deadline is the primary reason why ambitious plans drift into oblivion. Your subconscious mind requires this specific time frame to create the sense of pressure necessary for emergency action. The deadline is the point at which your mental energy and physical action must converge to manifest the result. Treat this date as your personal date of emancipation from your past failures. The deadline compels you to move with the same decisive speed that marks all successful leaders. Formulate an initial plan, ready or not. Immediately create an initial concrete plan for carrying out your desire, and begin at once to put this plan into action, whether you are ready or not. Waiting for the right time is procrastination in disguise, and procrastination is the thief of your precious remaining time. The process of execution will refine the plan faster than any amount of analysis. The courage to start immediately, even imperfectly, is the first definitive action required to overcome years of delay. Any effort that moves you even 1 degree closer to your goal is superior to perfect analysis that results in stagnation. The moment you commit to a plan, no matter how small, you activate the universal principle of constant motion. Do not waste a single hour waiting for conditions to be perfect. Create the momentum now. The greatest error is to stand still. The universal principle is continuous movement. The written command. Write out the concise statement covering the amount, the 12-month deadline, the reciprocal service, and the plan. Reducing the statement of your desire and plan to writing gives concrete form to the intangible impulse. This document is the instruction sheet for your subconscious mind and your master-mind alliance. This written clarity prevents the subtle sabotage that arises from mental vagueness and self-doubt. This written document is the material anchor for your thought, keeping it fixed on the goal. Keep this document as a constant reminder that your goal is a definite, tangible objective, not a fleeting wish. The physical act of writing reinforces the command through the sense of touch, further impressing the subconscious mind. Reviewing this command daily provides the necessary rhythmic stimulus to induce faith. The twice daily ritual of faith. Read your written statement aloud, twice daily, once before retiring and once upon arising. As you read, you must see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the results. This is the critical final step. This sustained repetition is the only way to contact your subconscious mind with your definite desire. The rhythmic application of this ritual is how faith, the silent partner of desire, is deliberately cultivated. This ritual must be performed with the feeling of gratitude for the wealth you are about to receive. The feeling of faith projected through this ritual provides the most potent mental fertilizer for the seeds of your purpose. This is the technique by which you voluntarily program the highest emotion into your mind. This ritual connects your conscious instruction with the immense unseen power of your subjective mind. Emotionalize the order. The mere reading of words is of no consequence unless you mix emotion or feeling with your words. Faith is the strongest and most productive emotion. Injecting genuine, unadulterated enthusiasm and belief into your statement is essential for your subconscious mind to act. Emotion is the vitalizing force that makes your thoughts magnetic and attracts their physical equivalent. The subconscious mind acts only upon belief, and belief is only effective when fused with intense feeling. Thoughts mixed with feeling are instantaneously recognized and acted upon by the coordinating center of your brain. Through this emotional fusion, you transform a cold desire into a living, dynamic force. To achieve riches, you must think of them with such intense feeling that they become the dominating power in your mind. The quality of the result is determined by the depth of emotion you fuse with your definite aim. I want to pause here. I am giving you a foundation that took me 25 years to extract from the minds of the world's most successful men. This philosophy is proven. If this message is resonating, if you are feeling that necessary spark of urgency, then I ask you to join this collective mind. Subscribe to this channel now. We are a mastermind in the making, and your active participation accelerates your own success. Do it now, and let us continue this instruction in power. Building the trajectory, decision and organized planning. The difference between those ahead of you and you is not knowledge, it is speed. Your 12-month transformation requires instant, firm decisions and continuous organized planning to replace the habits of delay and indecision that plagued your past. The time you wasted can only be redeemed through the absolute precision of your action now. The mastery of prompt decision is the crucial second step toward riches. Organized planning is the deliberate coordination of effort, time, and resources toward your definite aim. It is the bridge that connects the desire in your mind to the material results in your life. Without this blueprint of organized action, desire is merely wishful thinking. Planning transforms the chaos of wishful desire into the orderly force required for materialization. My exhaustive analysis of 30 major causes of failure placed lack of decision near the head of the list. Indecision is a quiet diminisher of ambition. Successful people reach decisions promptly and change them slowly, if at all, when they find they are wrong. The failure of the average man is his habit of letting others do his thinking and deciding for him. Your 12-month goal depends entirely on halting the habit of delay and changing plans only when those plans are proven unsound. The late starter must cultivate the ability to decide rapidly and stand firmly by that decision unless new, overwhelming facts necessitate a change. The man of decision moves with conviction, while the indecisive man wanders aimlessly, serving the plans of others. Indecision is always the result of fear, usually the fear of criticism or failure. The greatest leaders throughout history distinguished themselves not by their personal knowledge, but by their capacity for quick, unwavering decisions. The firm decision cuts off the possibility of retreat and compels the mind to seek solutions rather than excuses. The power required to achieve a major 12-month aim is the same power that forged nations. Look at the Continental Congress in 1776. They were surrounded by fear, doubt, and overwhelming military force. But they achieved freedom because they made a prompt and definite decision, the Declaration of Independence, and backed it with the forces of desire, faith, persistence, and a mastermind alliance. The sheer act of deciding their aim with finality marshaled the resources necessary to realize it. Their decision created a spiritual equivalent of their nation, which the physical world was then compelled to manifest. The decision itself served as the master plan, eliminating all mental confusion and focusing collective action. The decision was a collective affirmation of faith, which then attracted the physical means of war and eventual victory. The very moment they signed that document, they initiated a chain of organized effort that could not be reversed. That single, definitive decision released the collective energy of millions toward a common, fixed objective. Your self-determination requires that same decisiveness. Indecision is the silent terminator of opportunity, and you do not have a year to waste on deliberation. You must become so decisive that action follows thought without hesitation. You must establish a mental rhythm where decision is followed instantly by the first step of action. Your ability to organize and execute a plan will be determined by your capacity to make firm, consistent decisions. A firm decision is the psychological trigger that forces your subconscious to begin working on the problem solution. You must consciously cultivate the habit of decisiveness until it becomes an automatic reflex. Action steps, precision action in a 12-month window. Halt procrastination. Procrastination is the enemy of all worthwhile achievement. You must start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command. Reach decisions promptly on your course of action and hold those decisions firmly. Every day you delay is a day you voluntarily surrender the authority over your own life. This deliberate speed is the only way to counteract the accumulated weight of past indecision. Never leave a decision pending. Take action immediately, even if the action is merely setting the next hour's task. The greatest cure for indecision is the consistent, immediate implementation of minor decisions. Train yourself to make snap decisions on all matters of secondary importance, reserving deliberation only for the major pillars of your DCA. The immediate action, even if small, builds the momentum necessary to overcome the inertia of your past stagnation. Strategic silence. When putting principles into practice, keep your own counsel. Do not disclose your purpose to others, except the chosen mastermind members. Talking too freely about your plans may lead to defeat by those who envy you or who will plant seeds of doubt because their own lack of ambition cannot tolerate yours. The definite plan should be a private contract between you, your mastermind, and your subconscious mind. Guard your definite purpose from all unnecessary exposure, especially during its vulnerable initial stages. Power is often best applied when the target does not know the full nature of the force being brought against it. The energy you save by refusing to talk about your plans can be directed toward their realization. Loose lips sink the ship of ambition. Maintain absolute secrecy regarding the details of your offensive action. Protect your idea from the destructive power of mass negative suggestion. The failure loop strategy. Recognize that temporary defeat is not permanent failure. When a plan fails, accept it only as an indication that the plan was unsound, not that the goal is unattainable. Immediately use your imagination to create and organize a new, revised plan. Thomas A. Edison failed 10,000 times before success. He understood that each attempt eliminated one more way that would not work. View every setback as a hard-won data point guiding you toward the correct plan. The true winner uses temporary defeat as educational tuition paid for in effort. The only true failure is the termination of effort after temporary defeat. Your persistence in revision proves to your subconscious mind that the goal is non-negotiable. The successful late starter learns that the path to success is rarely straight. It is a zigzag of corrected errors. Your ability to bounce back from temporary defeat is the surest measure of your persistence and the strength of your desire. Embrace the quitter's motto. Write out the sentence, "A quitter never wins and a winner never quits," and place it where you see it daily. Use persistence to overcome the temptation to quit at the first signs of defeat. This motto, when internalized, becomes a command for continuous, focused action. Your refusal to quit must become an ingrained, automatic habit. Repetition of this motto strengthens the necessary mental conditioning to withstand pressure. Let this motto be the internal voice that silences doubt when you encounter setbacks. This mental conditioning turns persistence from an effort into an instinct. The man who adopts this motto effectively programs his mind for inevitable victory. Persistence, when reinforced by autosuggestion, becomes a spiritual force that cannot be defeated by temporary physical circumstance. Focus on the core. Every plan you create must be the joint creation, or at least approved, by your mastermind alliance. Your plans must reflect your definite chief aim. Concentrate all of your efforts on that one aim. Divided effort leads to fragmented results. The successful late starter must possess the mental discipline to refuse every distraction that does not advance the 12-month DCA. Refuse secondary ambitions during this critical 12-month period of focused acceleration. The focused power of a laser always penetrates deeper than the scattered light of a lantern. If your 12-month plan requires 50 hours of labor per week, refuse any activity, social, financial, or recreational, that consumes time unnecessarily. Your 12-month success demands a monastic dedication to the definite chief aim, rewiring the mind, autosuggestion, and environment. To catch up in 12 months, you must consciously destroy the limiting beliefs that kept you behind. The chaotic results of your past are a direct echo of the negative thought impulses you allowed to reside in your mind. We use autosuggestion to inject positive thought impulses directly into your subconscious mind, creating a success consciousness that attracts favorable results. The subconscious mind is the connecting link between the finite mind of man and infinite intelligence. Its operation must be directed by you. Autosuggestion is the deliberate method of self-administered stimulus through the 5 senses. You are the master of your fate, because you can control the subjective programming of your mind. The thoughts that dominate your conscious mind will eventually take root in your subconscious and direct all your actions toward their material equivalent. You must transform the subjective mental climate from one of fear and doubt to one of absolute faith and expectancy. The subconscious mind accepts and acts upon thought impulses mixed with emotion, whether they are negative or positive. To change your results in 12 months, you must consciously control what you feed your mind. Your brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. If you broadcast fear, you will receive obstacles. If you broadcast definite purpose and faith, you will receive opportunity and cooperation. This is not mysticism. It is a fundamental law of mind operation. Your failure to control your environment in the past allowed toxic influences to program poverty consciousness. The dominating thoughts of the conscious mind automatically reach the subconscious and are then converted into their physical equivalent. Therefore, every thought you permit to remain in your mind, especially those fused with emotion, becomes a command to your destiny. Your mind is constantly broadcasting a signal that attracts the people and circumstances in harmony with your dominating thought. By consciously directing your thoughts, you are in effect controlling the nature of the circumstances that surround you. Consider Henry Ford. When he commanded his engineers to produce the V8 engine with the 8 cylinders cast in one block, they insisted unanimously that it was impossible. Ford, understanding the power of suggestion, refused to accept their verdict. He commanded them to stay on the job until they succeeded. This illustrates the elimination of the word impossible and negative suggestions from the working environment. Ford's own absolute belief filtered out their doubt and forced their hands to find the solution. Your 12-month success depends on enforcing that same mental discipline on yourself and your environment. Ford knew that negative suggestions, left unchallenged, would terminate the entire project. Ford's faith created a mental equivalent of the engine's success, which his engineers' specialized knowledge was compelled to materialize. Ford understood that success is 90% mental attitude and only 10% technical execution. He succeeded because he knew the law. The mind will find a way to execute the thought that is fused with unwavering belief. Ford's sustained faith, a result of his own autosuggestion, overcame the collective doubt of his technically superior team. Action steps. Injecting positive commands, implement the self-confidence formula daily. Repeat the written self-confidence formula aloud daily. This formula demands persistent, continuous action and requires you to think of the person you intend to become for 30 minutes daily, creating a clear mental picture. This deliberate concentration is the difference between an idle dream and directed magnetic thought. The consistent repetition of the formula acts as a mental immunization against self-doubt. You must build a strong sense of self-reliance, which only grows through the conscious application of this formula. The 30 minutes of focused concentration are the most important investment you will make in your 12-month plan. This routine is designed to replace the habit of self-criticism with a habit of self-reliance. The formula is a scientifically proven method for directing the subconscious mind into productive mental patterns. Concentrate with visualization. When focusing on your DCA, hold your thoughts by concentration until you can actually see the physical appearance of the result. See yourself rendering the service or delivering the merchandise in return for the money. Visualize the result not as a future hope, but as a present fact already achieved. This imaginative exercise creates the mental blueprint that the subconscious mind must ultimately follow and materialize. The subconscious mind works best when presented with a clear, emotionally charged mental picture of the desired end. Visualization, when mixed with faith, is the laboratory where the alchemy of success occurs. Use the full power of your imagination, the greatest asset of the human mind, to perfect this mental image. The more clear and detailed your mental picture, the faster your subconscious will work to attract its physical correspondence. Build a wall of immunity. You must prepare your mind to resist the evil of susceptibility to negative influences. Recognize that you have a willpower and use it constantly to build a wall of immunity against negative influences in your own mind. This includes the negative suggestions of relatives, friends, and acquaintances who mock your ambitious 12-month plan. The will is your guard against the suggestions of doubt planted by those who lack ambition. Every act of resistance against negativity strengthens your mental fortitude. Become as selective about your mental intake as you are about the food you eat. Do not permit the thoughts of others to become the dominating thoughts of your mind. The refusal to accept negative thought from any source is the first line of defense for your DCA. The disciplined mind permits only those thoughts which aid in the realization of the definite aim. Audit your circle. The environment around you affects your thought impulses. Identify and eliminate association with those who are constantly negative, as they are sources of fear, doubt, and indecision. This is not unkindness. It is self-preservation. Your closest 5 associates will determine the magnetic quality of your mind. Choose them for their belief in your definite aim. The opinions and attitudes of your peers will either reinforce your desire or extinguish it. Choose your reinforcement carefully. A mastermind is useless if its members are allowed to contaminate it with destructive thoughts. The negative energy of the wrong association is the heaviest anchor you can chain to your efforts. A man is known by the company he keeps, and his success is often determined by it. The man who attempts to succeed, surrounded by critics, is attempting to boil water in a freezer. Stop mental waste. The average mind is filled with scattered thoughts, often wasted on worry, criticism, and gossip. Every time you allow your mind to drift into these negative channels, you are essentially erasing the positive commands you issued. Your mind is a mental laboratory. You are the chemist. Ensure only productive ingredients enter your process. Focus only on thoughts that contribute directly to the solution of your definite problem. The control of attention is the highest form of mental discipline required for success. The successful man dedicates his thinking time to the analysis of his plans and the perfection of his product or service. Mental efficiency is achieved only when thinking is focused on constructive, definite aims. Thoughts of definite aim and constructive planning are the only profitable investments of mental energy. Closing the gap, specialized knowledge and persistence. You feel behind because you think others have knowledge you lack. This is partially true, but your error is believing that knowledge is power. I tell you, knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when it is organized and directed toward a definite end. To close the gap in 12 months, you must acquire the precise, specialized knowledge needed for your goal. Then use persistence to overcome the one weakness that eradicates most late starters, relinquishing effort. The rapid and strategic acquisition of relevant knowledge is the 5th step toward riches. The mere possession of facts is useless without the plan and persistence to apply them. Knowledge is the raw material. Organized application is the power plant. The market rewards men not for what they know, but for what they can do with what they know. The man who knows how to acquire and organize specialized knowledge for a definite purpose is the man who truly possesses power. The successful person is one who knows how to acquire everything needed in the attainment of their main purpose. Success requires the continuous pursuit of knowledge, but that pursuit must be organized and specific to your DCA. Persistence is the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Without persistence, you will be defeated before you start. Persistence is a state of mind that can be cultivated and developed through specific habit training. It is the voluntary capacity to carry on despite failure and discouragement. It is the willingness to sacrifice temporary ease for the certainty of long-term freedom. Persistence is the direct measure of the strength of your burning desire. It is the vital energy needed to transcend the temporary setbacks that life inevitably presents. The failure of the average man is due to his habit of giving up at the first sign of difficulty. Your 12-month effort will certainly face setbacks, financial, personal, and emotional. Your job is to treat them as temporary defeats, not permanent failures. Temporary defeat is merely a signal that your plan contains flaws which must be immediately rectified. The moment a plan fails, your duty is to immediately organize a new, better plan without wavering from the DCA. The successful man never alters his definite purpose, but he is constantly, even daily, adjusting his methods and plans. The difference between the quitter and the winner is measured by the interval between the setback and the formation of the new plan. The true test of the DCA is not the absence of difficulty, but the unwavering response to difficulty. Remember the story of R.U. Darby's uncle, who ceased digging 3 feet from a rich vein of gold because the pay dirt ran out. He assumed the gold was gone and stopped just short of wealth. This illustrates the common habit of relinquishing effort due to temporary defeat. Use this story as a constant reminder not to quit in the next 12 months. Persistence is not just hanging on, it is the repeated execution of a new plan after failure. The difference between failure and success is often measured only by a few more attempts. The greatest victories are often won after the point where most men give up. The gold is always found in the last 3 feet of digging. Your persistence must reach that depth. His relinquishing of effort was the true failure, not the temporary absence of gold. Darby's uncle mistook a bend in the road for the end of the journey. Action steps. Sustained effort for the next 12 months define and acquire strategic knowledge. Decide the exact specialized knowledge you require for your DCA and the purpose for which it is needed. If you do not have the time or inclination to acquire it yourself, which is likely in a 12-month time frame, plan to acquire it through the cooperation of others, your mastermind alliance. This specialized knowledge, organized by your plan, is the rocket fuel for your comeback. Determine what you know, what you need to know, and whose cooperation is required to bridge the gap. Focus on immediately actionable knowledge that generates income or value, not academic degrees. Avoid general, scattered learning. Focus on the knowledge that directly feeds your 12-month definite chief aim. Every hour spent learning must directly contribute to accelerating your realization of the DCA. This strategic focus ensures that you spend your time building a specific skill set that the market demands. Adopt the QQS formula as habit. Make the QQS formula, quality, quantity, spirit, your operational standard. Consistently deliver the maximum quality and quantity of service in a proper spirit of cooperation. The spirit of service, agreeable, harmonious conduct is essential for commanding higher pay and enduring success. Over-delivering value is the only way to accelerate compensation and attract cooperation from the wealthiest people. This formula ensures that your service creates a positive reputation that precedes your ambition. The spirit component ensures harmonious relationships, which is a prerequisite for mastermind cooperation. The man who gives superior service is guaranteed superior reward. This commitment to QQS must be maintained even when the immediate compensation seems inadequate. The QQS principle is the practical manifestation of the golden rule in commerce. Build persistence through willpower. Persistence is a state of mind that can be cultivated. The habit of persistence is formed by consistently focusing on A, a definite purpose backed by burning desire, B, a definite plan expressed in continuous action, C, a mind closed tightly against negative influences, and D, a friendly alliance who encourages you. By focusing on these 4 pillars, you deliberately forge the mental habits of the winner. Willpower is the engine of persistence, but desire is the fuel. Every time you choose to continue after a setback, you strengthen the foundation of your future success. Recognize that setbacks are deliberately placed there by life to test the sincerity of your desire and the strength of your will. Persistence is the final proof to the universe that you are ready for the responsibility of wealth. Your determination must be impervious to the temporary illusions of defeat. Focus on the distasteful tasks. To build self-control and persistence, form the habit of each day doing the most distasteful tasks first. This difficult procedure builds mental discipline that transfers into all major efforts. Conquer the small, unpleasant tasks daily, and the large challenges of your DCA will seem manageable. This habit strengthens your willpower and prepares you to act promptly on all major decisions. This internal discipline conditions your mind to choose long-term gain over short-term comfort. The discipline to execute the unpleasant task ensures that your mind remains the master, not the servant, of your habits. The morning conquest of a distasteful task is the highest form of self-command. The repeated exercise of overcoming minor resistance builds the spiritual muscle required to overcome major obstacles. Track the results of action. The difference between successful action and aimless activity is measurement. You must track the immediate results of your action daily against your plan and your deadline. Persistence loses its power when it lacks definite tracking. which is the only way to identify an unsound plan that needs revision. Failure to track progress is equivalent to flying an aircraft without instruments. Aimless effort is inevitable. Maintain a strict accounting of effort versus results to ensure your efforts are productive, not merely busy work. Use this tracking to reinforce the confidence that every action is yielding a measurable result. The daily accounting provides the necessary data to apply the failure loop strategy efficiently. Accurate records of progress are the primary means of maintaining the high morale necessary for persistent effort. Exponential leverage, mastermind, and fear, mastery. The only way to bypass years of solo struggle is to multiply your mental capacity immediately. The Mastermind Alliance provides the organized power needed to translate your desire into reality in a compressed time frame. You are not too late, but you must stop thinking of yourself as a solitary laborer. The Mastermind is the single greatest tool for achieving rapid, exponential growth. This principle is the economic method for acquiring experience and specialized knowledge in a hurry. By allying yourself with others, you instantly increase your mental horsepower exponentially. It is the most efficient and practical means of organizing knowledge and labor available to the individual. The mastermind is your greatest shortcut to acquiring the necessary wisdom you spent your 20s neglecting. Power is essential for success, and it is defined as organized and intelligently directed knowledge. Organized effort is produced through the harmonious coordination of two or more people working toward a definite end. By entering a mastermind alliance, you acquire the immediate benefits of their experience, education, and imagination, which is crucial for rapid 12-month growth. This alliance is the single most important step you can take to close the gap on those who started ahead of you. This principle, understood by Carnegie and Ford, allows one person to command the equivalent mental power of an entire corporation. The formation of the Mastermind Alliance is the only way the late starter can compete with organizations built over decades. The collective power generated by the alliance is the irresistible force that achieves seemingly impossible feats. The principle operates on the profound basis that when two minds harmonize, a third, invisible, invincible force of spiritual power is created. This invisible third force provides the genius of original thought and inspiration needed for massive achievement. Look at Andrew Carnegie, who made himself rich not by his own specialized knowledge of steel, but by organizing and directing a mastermind group of men who supplied the specialized knowledge and effort, thereby accumulating organized and intelligently directed knowledge. Carnegie understood that he could leverage the brain power and experience of dozens of men simultaneously. His wealth was the result of organized power. He knew the mind of his chief of chemistry, his chief of production, and his chief of finance were all working for his definite aim through harmony. His chief aim was achieved through the harmonized, creative effort of 10 other specialized minds. Carnegie's success was proof that organization of power is more important than personal possession of knowledge. His mastermind was his brain trust, guiding his decisions and multiplying his ability to execute. Carnegie's alliance was a clear demonstration of the law of increasing returns applied to mental effort. Carnegie proved that a man with a definite aim and an organized mastermind is far more powerful than any individual specialist. Your mastermind is a source of knowledge and a source of morale. It is the place where you can share your plans without the fear of criticism. But for the mastermind to work, you must first master the primary block to cooperation and success: fear. Your 20s were likely sabotaged by one of the 6 basic fears. These fears are insidious because they are nothing but ghosts existing only in your mind. The most common are the fear of poverty and the fear of criticism. Until you eliminate these internal roadblocks, no external alliance will save you. Fear is the greatest destroyer of personal initiative. Fear paralyzes the imagination, making the creation of new plans impossible. The destructive emotions of fear cannot coexist with the creative emotion of faith. The man dominated by fear broadcasts a signal that repels worthwhile partners and opportunities. Fear is the only real limitation the mind of man can impose upon itself. The analysis and removal of these fears is the final cleaning process for the mental laboratory. Fear is simply a cultivated state of mind that can be systematically eradicated by the sustained thought of faith and definite purpose. Action steps: harnessing group power. Organize your mastermind alliance. Ally yourself with a group of as many people as you need to carry out your definite plan. This alliance must work towards your DCA in a spirit of perfect harmony. Crucial rule: failure to maintain harmony guarantees failure. Define the roles, meeting times, and specific contributions of each member to prevent discord. The mutual dedication to the DCA must supersede all personal differences. The successful formation of this alliance is the definitive 9th step toward riches. The formalization of the alliance ensures that effort is organized, not accidental. Choose members who possess knowledge or influence you lack, ensuring the group forms a complete circle of specialized experience. Your selection criteria must be based solely on integrity, capacity for cooperation, and specialized knowledge relevant to your 12-month goal. Ensure the group meets at least once per week to maintain the necessary spiritual and mental cohesion. Utilize the group for planning and knowledge. Ensure every plan you adopt is checked and approved by your mastermind alliance. Utilize the group's diverse, specialized knowledge to bridge any weaknesses in your personal education. Do not use the group for casual conversation. Use it for organized brainstorming and accountability toward the DCA. The mastermind acts as a mental clearinghouse, refining your ideas and correcting your potential flaws before they become costly failures. The harmonized minds of the group provide the necessary creative impulse needed to solve major problems encountered during the 12-month journey. The collective scrutiny of the alliance filters out the hidden flaws that single-minded execution often misses. Treat your alliance meetings as the boardroom sessions of your future empire. The critical feedback of your mastermind is an asset that far outweighs the cost of criticism from a non-cooperating source. Eliminate the fear of criticism. The fear of criticism is a major destructive force, stopping people from setting high goals and embracing new ideas. You must close your mind tightly against discouraging influences, including self-criticism. The opinions of the average man are irrelevant to your 12-month goal. Disregard them completely. The fear of what they might say about your new ambition must be consciously dismissed and replaced by your unwavering purpose. This fear often manifests as procrastination, disguising inaction as caution. The only opinion that matters to your success is the opinion you hold of yourself and your plan. Fear of criticism holds more men back than lack of ability. The courage to face criticism is a prerequisite for independent thought and action. Conquer the ghosts of fear. Recognize that the 6 basic fears are nothing but ghosts existing only in your mind. Determine which fears are holding you back and consciously eliminate them, especially the fear of poverty, which leads to indifference, indecision, and worry. Analyze the worst-case scenario, accept it as possible, and then focus your thought on the positive, definite outcome. The only difference between the man of achievement and the man of failure is the sustained direction of definite thought. By analyzing fear, you expose it as a mere state of mind, stripping it of its power over your action. Refuse to accept any thought of poverty or failure as permanent reality. Conscious examination and analysis are the most effective solvents for the poison of fear. The conscious recognition of the underlying fear is the first step toward controlling it. Exercise mind control. Success comes to those who exercise control over their own mind and direct it toward definite objectives. The ultimate privilege is to make your life what you want it to be, rather than casting yourself upon the broad sea of circumstance. Your willpower must be the unwavering captain that steers the ship of your life toward the 12-month destination. Use your willpower to keep your mind fixed on the positive, and the mastermind will supply the rest. Self-control is the basis of all permanent achievement. Control of the mind ensures that your energy is always constructive, never dissipative. The mind that is master of itself is also master of its environment and its destiny. Through the conscious application of willpower, you take the final, complete control of your destiny. If you are serious about this 12-month plan, share this with your friends. I want you to perform an act of definite decision right now. Ask yourself, what is the number one fear or negative person I must eliminate from my daily life to achieve my goal? Comment that answer below. The public declaration of your intention strengthens your resolve and puts the universe on notice. This philosophy is not a path of retreat. It is a philosophy of aggressive, intelligent action. You have the tools and you have a definite timeline. You are not too late, but you do not have time to waste. Now go forth, establish your definite chief aim, and commit to the 12-month discipline. This channel walks with you on the path of achievement. Now, command it